Hello, I'm Trent with Full Stack Academy. I'm one of the career success counselors on the team here for the New York location. And we're just going to cover a bit about the pitch. The pitch is very important in terms of how you introduce yourself and how you establish that connection or that initial rapport with an employer, professional contact. This could be anyone who may be in a position to work with you on a professional level. And so we're gonna move into the pitch here. And usually we associate the pitch with the question of tell me about yourself, or the statement of tell me about yourself. And in many ways, what this is asking you to do is to describe something in a very succinct and precise way that can illustrate your skills, your understanding of an industry, and as well as your value and what you're trying to come across as projecting in terms of a professional. So let's move into this. What is a pitch? A pitch is an introduction, and here we have a humorous way of describing how we can say who we are. We have the I am, a very strong and demeaning I am there with that fire. And I am your father, as we know from the popular Star Wars. We also have I am Marcus Aurelius, who was an elegant philosopher in the past. And then we have the my name is Dave, and this may be a space where we are communicating, we're unsure on how to get that message across. So this is just a fun way of looking at how we can project certain energies and states of mind when we're talking about ourselves, introduced to another person. So a pitch is an introduction. Typically we want this to be about 60 to 90 seconds. And the reason is, we'll get into in further slides, but we want the pitch to be something that is very brief yet powerful enough that it can illustrate a message to someone. They understand what you're about. So tell me about yourself. Typically, a greeting. How do you introduce yourself? So think about the times where you might have been at a formal event, you may have been at some occasion, you may be networking now, and you are in a situation where you're meeting someone for the first time. Just think back to how you normally do this. This would be an opportunity to use the pitch. Branding, we say branding and reputation, we use those interchangeably, because the pitch also presents your reputation. So how do you present yourself? What are you conveying so that the other person understands where you're coming from? That coming from turns out to be this holistic understanding or this holistic view that they have of you. And the pitch also includes a hook, and that hook is a combination of the experiences, skills, and talents that really make you stand out. That hook is something of value, something that the other person, when they hear it, they understand that this is something that they may want to be working with. Why is a pitch important? So we look at the pitch also as an opportunity to expand conversations, an opportunity to really send your message across. And so we liken this to the rubber band, and that the rubber band, if you think about it, can stretch, and it can also be condensed. You can fold it, you can twist it, you can move it around. So there are various occasions where we want to make this pitch effective, especially in the technical sector. Career fairs, we would like your pitch to be very quick. Just think of a career fair environment. You have a lot of companies looking for technical candidates, and this may be a fast-moving experience where you may have maybe 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes in our launch day affairs, hiring day affairs. Typically allot 10 minutes where you are talking with an employer. And so 10 minutes can go very quickly. You may not realize it when you're engaged in the conversation. So you want to be able to be precise and succinct with the message that you're sharing when you're introducing yourself. Networking events, this may be something that's less job fair focused, where your intent is to pass on a resume, but you are also passing on your reputation. You're passing on knowledge of skills, passing on experiences and conversations. So we can use it to create a conversation. Your pitch can be done at various networking events. You can also use a pitch in first-person interviews or first in-person interviews, my apologies. And this is your phone screen. This can be your intro call. Let's say that you're offered to go on site and you're meeting technical recruiters or software development managers for the first time. This is also an opportunity where you want to be specific and precise. And then also with your career counselor, you want to practice. You want to practice with us. We are here for you so that we can help you refine this script, this pitch, so that you are able to execute it in whichever environment you see that it is necessary, and you can adapt it. A pitch is also a soft skill, and we might have heard this term a lot. Sometimes it's also called soft power, but the pitch is in alignment with a number of these qualities here that you are seeing. Soft skills are transferable. They are a professional, and professional in the sense meaning that they are highly effective and they tend to be utilized within work environments where business is being done. Soft skills often involve communication. They often are intangible. So whereas your knowledge of Angular or your knowledge of Python or JavaScript, these are tangible hard skills. The intangible skills tend to come from internal, right? Likening it to the communication skills. Also saying they're non-technical, and they also involve teamwork and problem solving. And so in a number of your projects, you are working collaboratively, and so you may be able to actually reflect on these soft skills and identify in your experiences where you've actually been employing these, and also where you may have seen some of these needed and they may not have been present. So what companies are saying, just wanted to provide a few links here where you can see that the CEO even of LinkedIn, which is the largest professional networking platform, and Google as well, both of these companies are looking at soft skills as very important, vital, absolutely necessary to their professionals, the development of their work environments, and their productivity in combination with your technical backgrounds. So some soft skills you want to stay mindful of. This is specifically when dealing with the pitch. You want to look at your voice tone, and what does that mean? Your voice, it can be seen if you think about a graph, and you want to see your variations in your voice, up and down, up and down. We can think of presentations or speakers who might not have been as alluring, as charismatic to us. We don't pay much attention to, and they tend to have a very monotone. So if you think of a straight line, just think of how that voice is going. So voice tone is important when you're delivering your pitch because it's going to illustrate your confidence and your passion, really, that you're interested in this industry, that you have taken your experience to the next level with full stack, you've acquired certain technical skills, and now you want to be able to move on to the next stage with a precise vision of how you see yourself sharing your value, especially within an organization. Articulation. This is comfortable speaking pace so that you can be understood. And one of the challenges that we find with utilizing the pitch is that because we're thinking of that 60 to 90 window, we are looking at rushing and throwing as many words as possible within that time space. And what ends up happening is that from the outside, the listener may not be able to register as clearly your message compared to if you took pauses and you paced your speech. The pacing of the speech enables you to process what you're saying much clearly, as well as the listener can process what you're saying much clearly. They understand your message. Eye contact. This is very important. And backup connecting with confidence. You want to be able to look in the eyes of the person that you're speaking with. And for many reasons, we can develop a gut feeling about someone if they are looking away versus looking at us in the eyes. This is also about connection. So you want to be able to establish your rapport, their ability to trust you, their interest in wanting to hear what you have to say can be enhanced by eye contact. And then we also have smiling, so the releasing of the endorphins to create a positive mood. There are multiple studies to show that smiling in your conversations, smiling when you're first introducing yourself to someone, can ease the environment. It can create a relaxing space between you and the person, and that other person, if you smile at them, unless they're having a horrible day, they may be likely to smile at you as well. So what should you say in your pitch, right? How do we work this strategy? How do we figure this out? There are three sections that we want you to concentrate on. First is the past, and what were you doing in that past? And if we look at your resume, we can use this as a guideline for how you begin to explain your experience or your journey. So think about the experiences that you've had. If you're looking at work, it's important to not see your work experience as negative or badmouth it or talk in toxic ways about those experiences, because there may have been skill sets, opportunities, experiences, people that you have gained or worked with or cultivated that have led you to this new point in time where you have decided that you wanted to excel as a software engineer. So think about your past. If it was a job, you can mention the job and start describing, rather than what you did not like about the experience, think about what you did enjoy and what then was missing, or what you realized was something that you wanted that was more, that was not present at that job, but you wanted to take your career to the next level. The next is, what inspired you to make the career change? And we call this the aha moment. So this is that experience, something, whether it's through, in many of our cases, we see that sometimes friends and family may have been an inspiration. There may have been a liking for technology and apps and coding way back in the past, but just haven't really taken the next step to pursue it. There also could be a first experience with technology and just recognizing, wow, this is something that I had no idea that I wanted to do until I actually started tinkering with it. Maybe I took a class, and I experimented with a course online, and I realized that I really love this. So this is your aha moment. The next is, what are you looking for now in the career? And so from the aha moment, that transition led you to full stack. And your experience at full stack you can describe as well, and how you enjoyed it, what were the benefits, and also what were some of the skills that you developed, what were the languages that you cultivated while you were here. And now you're looking for a vision. What is it that you want to do in this industry? And this is something that's much broader. It can be broad for you, or it may be something very specific. I would recommend thinking about what really moves you in technology. What do you want to accomplish? What kind of technologies do you want to work with? What technologies do you tend to use that you have a passion for? So with these three spaces, looking at your past, now moving into a transition into technology, you've achieved the education, achieved certain skills, you then begin to describe what is it that you're looking for. In terms of a job, you would be able to model this based on the opportunity that you're going for, and you're conversing with the organization, right? So you want to be able to tailor this so that the employer, when they receive it, they know where you've come from, they know what you've acquired, and they know what you are here interested to do with the organization. When do you use your pitch? And so we've covered a little bit of this in the past slides, but here are more breakdowns, right? Technical networking events, interviews. And the thing about the interview is that, especially when we are looking at networking outside of events, networking can always be taking place. And so if you've heard of the elevator pitch, this is the idea that you could be on an elevator with someone and you strike up a quick conversation and you realize that, whoa, this could potentially be someone that may be in my life professionally for a very long time. And so you have that very brief moment in time to convey your pitch, convey who you are, what you're about, what you're looking to do, so that they can understand, well, I'd like to continue talking with you, continue working with you. I may have a referral. Let's meet again. Let's talk some other time. So the idea of interview or screening can take place outside of the formal job structure. It's very important to recognize that, because once you have this skill of creating your pitch and delivering it effectively, you can utilize this in any professional environment you go to. It is a skill. Informational sessions, these are your sessions where they may be informal in the sense of you go to an event and it turns into a networking workshop where you're collaborating with people and you have an opportunity to describe your vision or describe who you are. This also may not be specifically job related, but it is a professional environment, and so it then can convert into developing further relationships. And then we also have personal branding. As we go through your LinkedIn profiles, your portfolios, if you have them, there are a number of ways that you can use your pitch in different formats to convey that same message. The consistency is important. So we'd like to leave you with an activity where you are able to practice this. The important part about the pitch is that it may not come off effective the very first time, or maybe the very first few times. It's one thing to practice with oneself without the pressure, but then once there is someone present, or there's a timetable, or you're in an environment now where it's compressed and you have to deliver effectively or optimally in that moment, it comes down to practice. Are you really ready to actually deliver this? Does it feel natural? Does it feel second nature? And the main way that this comes about, that you can achieve this, is through practice. Practice, practice, practice. So there are a few ways that we advocate that you can practice. One is to voice record yourself. You can just get your phone, your cell phone. It's very minimal maintenance. And use the recording app that you have on the phone, or you can download a new one, and you push that record button and you speak your pitch. And you then can stop the recording, and then you can play it back. And you listen to yourself. Listen to how you project. Listen to your tone of voice. Listen to the passion. Listen to the articulation. A lot of the points that we covered in the earlier slides, you can actually revisit this by listening to yourself. The next is video recording. And you can do the same thing with your phone. You can, instead of just doing audio, you feel courageous, you can do video. So you can set your phone somewhere in front of you, sit back, and push that record button. This is going to give you several types of information. One, it's going to give you the audio. It's also going to give you the physicality, so how you actually look when you are delivering this pitch. You're going to get a lot more feedback from the video than just the audio, because this is going to be the environment you're going to be in when you're actually talking with people quite often. If you have a phone screen, or if you have a phone call, or you set up a coffee chat of some sort, something that's dealing with you not being visual, you will want to have a sense of how you are moving and gesturing and how you are appearing physically, because that affects how you convey your messages. So the video record, same process. Record it, stop it, and then look at it, and then begin to practice, rehearse, and analyze yourself. And then, of course, practice with someone. This can be with a friend. If you use a friend to work with, someone who's comfortable, or you're comfortable with, this can ease the tension. You may not feel so much pressure to deliver on demand, and so it allows you more time to practice in a freer space. I would also advocate using someone who is more of a colleague or a peer, professional peer, rather than just a casual friend, and that begins to heighten the intensity. It heightens the environment that may feel compressed due to the lack of familiarity. And this is good because it's prepping you for those environments that are going to be brand new to you when you go on your interviews. And then also you can practice with career counselors. So you can reach out to us through our HubSpots, and you can schedule time to practice with us. We are very open and willing and thoroughly enjoy going through these experiences with you, because from the outside we can see that growth. We can see the more that you practice, the more that you improve, and we can provide you with that immediate feedback from career counselors' perspective. So just some final pieces of research here that you can reflect on. So LinkedIn CEO Jeff Weiner says the biggest skills gap in the US is not coding. It's at Quartz at Work last year, October. And the link here is provided. One quote from the article says, as head of the world's largest professional networking site, Weiner presumably has access to more and more detailed employment information than any government. He knows what jobs people post, what jobs people have, and what jobs people want. And the biggest skills gap he says he sees in the United States is soft skills, which then connects back to our pitch being a soft skill. Why this is valuable is because as you begin to excel in the technical space, and as you've seen in your projects, that it is a combination of working with the languages and the intricacies in the digital space. It's also a combination of the problem solving and being able to network and collaborate with people and assess situations. Google is also on the soft skills hunt. So in 2017, Google announced the findings from an internal study that looked across teams to determine the most innovative and productive groups within the company. They found that their best teams weren't the ones full of top scientists. Instead, their highest performing teams were interdisciplinary groups that benefited heavily from employees who brought strong soft skills to the collaborative process. This is from a Forbes article, and this is very important. It brings up a key point in that if you have a background that is not specifically technical based, you may come from sales, you may come from customer service, restaurant industry, hospitality, finance, you name it. The variants are very vast in terms of the grads that we tend to engage, the students we tend to engage, and this actually works or can work to advantage because you have come here loaded with a number of soft skills already developed or exposed to, and now you are transitioning into this space where you have acquired numerous beneficial technical skills that then you can fuse. So you become a well-rounded, holistic professional who can convey this in a pitch and be able to secure more opportunities. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, and we look forward to working with you again.